Hello class. So today we're going to be looking at GPS 6. So GPS 6 we're going to look at solving linear equations with signed numbers. Again, you can read the GPS if you like. We can just skip to some examples and we can look at some examples on how to solve some linear equations. So this is very similar to what we did before, except now we're going to work with some signed numbers here. So generally, I know some of you get confused whether you should, move variables to the left or you should move variables to the right. Okay. Normally in our class, we're always going to move all the variables to the left and all the numbers to the right. But you can decide. It depends. They're both correct, right? Whether you want to move the variable to the left or variable to the right. But just so we're consistent, in class, I'm always going to move the variables to the left and numbers to the right. So what I mean is I have two options when I solve equations, right? For 6.2, okay? I have two options, right? I can either move the 2x to the right side by minusing 2x to both sides, right? Or I can move the negative 4x over by adding 4x to both sides. Okay, they are both correct. It's up to you how you want to do it. But like I mentioned, in class, I will always move variables to the left, and I will always move numbers to the right. So here I'm going to add 4x to both sides rather than minus 2x to both sides. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides because now, look what happens. I get my variable on the left side, right? 2x plus 4x is 6x. And then plus 5 equals to negative 7. Now I'm going to move the numbers over to the right side. So I'm going to minus 5 to both sides. So this gives us 6x equals 2. And that's going to give us a negative 12. Divide both sides by 6. So x is equal to negative 2. And always box your answers. Okay, so we get negative 2. So if you notice, I moved the variable to the left, right? I have the x on the left side, and I have the numbers on the right side over here. Okay, but again, you can solve it whichever way you like. You can move the variable to the right side if you want. Okay, they're both correct. But just so we're consistent in class, I'll always move variables to the left, numbers to the right. So let's look at 6.3. So here we have negative 3n. So how do I solve that? You're going to divide both sides by negative 3. Right? It's 3n times, it's negative 3 times n. So we do the opposite of times. We divide both sides by 3n. So then what happens? The negative 3's, divide both sides by negative 3. So what happens when we divide both sides by negative 3? The negative 3's cancel out. Okay. Let me make it a little nicer. So again, we divide both sides by negative 3. Okay, so what happens? The negative 3's cancel out. You're left with n equals 2, and then 21 divided by negative 3 is negative 7. Alright? Like we said before, when we divide, positive divided by negative is a negative. Signs are different, so it's a negative. Okay, let's look at the next one. Make it a little bigger. Alright, let's look at the next example. Okay, so 6.4. Again, in this example, I'm going to move the variable to the left. So let's just add 4x to 4w to both sides. Plus 4w. Okay, and 4w cannot add to the 7, right? They're different animals, okay? This has a w, the 7 does not. So we just got to put them together. So we have 4w plus 7 equals to 35. Now I'm going to bring the number over, minus 7 to both sides. So the 7's cancel out, and then we're left with 4w equals to 35 minus 7 is going to give us 28. And then we're going to divide both sides by 4. Okay, and then the 4's cancel out, we get w equals to 28 divided by 4 is 7. Right, that's 6.4. Let's go on to the next one, 6.5. So again, I'm moving all the variables to the left. So I'm going to minus 3q to both sides. Okay, all the variables to the left. So we get negative 6q minus 5 equals to 19. Now we're going to bring the number to the right side, add 5 to both sides. So that's going to give us negative 6q, right? 5 cancel out, equals to 24. Divide both sides by negative 6. We get alright, so we're gonna end up here with q, the negatives canceled out, and then we're left with q equals to negative 4. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Alright, so again, I'm going to bring all the all the p's to the left side, right? Bring all the variables to the left. So how do I bring this over? I'm going to plus 9p, and then plus 9p over here. So that's going to give us 8p plus 5 equals to 37. Bring the number over, minus 5 to both sides. So then we're going to get 8p equals to 32. Divide both sides by 8. So p is equal to 4. Alright, and that's our answer. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. So here we're going to have to distribute. So negative 3, distribute that. So negative 3 times 2x is going to give us negative 6x minus negative 3 times 5 is negative 15 equals to negative 5 plus 4x. Again, I'm going to bring all the variables to the left, so I will minus 4x to both sides. Alright, so I cancel out. I'm left with negative 10x minus 15 is equal to negative 5. And then I'm going to plus 15 to both sides. Okay, and then that's going to give us negative 10x. Right, that's going to cancel out. I get negative 10x equals 2. Negative 5 plus 15 is 10. Divide both sides by negative 10. So x is going to equal to negative 1. Okay, right, this cancels out. And then you get 10 divided by negative 10, so we get negative 1. Okay, let's continue. Let's see, alright. So over here, we have, so we should distribute here. So for this problem, we're going to distribute the negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 4 times positive 1 is a negative 4. And then negative 4 times negative x is a positive 4x. Okay, again, I'm distributing here, okay, the negative 4, which is equal to, now distribute here, that's going to give us a 6x, and then distribute here, 2 times negative 2 is a negative 4 plus 2. Okay, and we should always try to simplify on the same side if we can. Here, right, I can't simplify anything, right? It's negative 4 and a 4x, so I can't simplify anything. Over here, I can simplify though. I can simplify the negative 4 and the positive 2. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to copy this over. So I have negative 4 plus 4x is equal to 6x. And then negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Remember, always carry the sign in the front. Negative 4 plus 2 is a negative 2. Now I'm going to bring all the variables to the left. minus 6x, minus 6x. Right, that cancels. We're left with negative 4. Positive 4x minus 6x is a negative 2x equals to negative 2. Bring the 4 over, plus 4, plus 4. And then we're going to get a negative 2x equals to negative 2 plus 4 is a positive 2. And then we divide both sides by negative 2. So we get x is equal to negative 1. Right? Put that in the box. Okay. For the next one, we're going to have, so same thing, we want to distribute, right? So you want to remember, so when we're distributing, you always want to carry the sign in the front. So you want to say, so let's just copy the negative 3n first. So we have negative 3n. We want to distribute negative 7. So negative 7 times 2n is negative 14n. Negative 7 times negative 1 is a positive 7 equals to 45. And we're going to distribute the negative 3, right? Remember, always carry the sign in the front. So it's negative 3 times 4n, which is a negative 12n. And then it's going to be negative 3 times positive 1, which is a negative 3. Now, let's combine some like terms, right? I can combine negative 3n and negative 4n. And then I can also combine this, the 45 and the negative 3, right? Those are same terms. So what am I going to get? So on this side over here, okay, for these two, I'm going to get negative 17n plus 7 equals to, I'm going to combine the 45 and the negative 3, but let's put the n first. And then 45 minus 3 is going to give us a positive 42. Okay, generally you want to put the variable first. So that's why I put the negative 12 first, and then I put the 45 minus 3, which is 42. Now, I'm going to bring all the n's to one side, plus 12n to both sides, plus 12n. Okay, the 12n's cancel out. Here, you're going to get negative 5n plus 7 equals to 42. Okay, and now I'm going to solve for n, so I'm going to minus 7 to both sides. Okay, and then this next 7 cancels out. I'm going to get negative 5n equals to, and then 42 minus 7 is going to give me 35. Divide both sides by negative 5. And then negative 5 is cancelled out. So we get n equals to negative 7. That's our solution. Okay, and I think that's the last one. Yep, okay. So again, if you got lost anywhere, just watch the video again. If you have any questions, post a question on the discussion forum or ask me in class. Okay, see you next time.